Alright, today I wanted to take a look at the new issue of Paperback Fanatic. This is number 48. It just came out in April 2024. It is created, compiled, and published by Justin Marriott out of the UK. You can get these on Amazon, though, so you don't have to pay the international shipping if you're in the US or Australia, or I'm assuming everywhere. I don't know. I've never looked into how it sells in other countries. So I just want to do a flip through here. A little help from Rosalita. Thank you, kitty. Yes, thank you. First up is this interview with Steve Holland about his upcoming book about the history of Badger Books called Beyond the Void. Badger Books was a UK publisher. Published stuff like this. Rodent Mutation. Kind of trashy genre fiction. The word trashy is thrown around a lot, but I consider it fun genre fiction. Some of his favorite covers. We have an interview with Chris Michael about his fanzine Biblio Curiosa, which is a fanzine dedicated to even more obscure books than these obscure books are. We have an interview with Andrew Nettie, who put together this book about Horowitz, which is the Australian version, I guess, of Badger. Not version, but a similar type publisher. Fun genre fiction. Some covers there. There's the Men's Adventure Quarterly Vietnam issue. We did a review of that not too long ago. I'll put it right up in there. One of those things that you click on. Here we have the article by Jules Burt about the London Paperback Show. Jules Burt is a well-known YouTube creator who covers vintage paperbacks and other collectible stuff like toys and stuff, but obviously I enjoy it for the books most of all. He recently did 3 videos with Justin Marriott, the creator of Paperback Fanatic, where he interviews him and stuff, and it was really entertaining, and those guys are just so likable. And I don't know, Justin Marriott, he's not what I imagined he would be like. He's a very, very classy dude, I think. I was also interested to hear that he used to be a punk rock guy, because me too. Not that I used to be, still am, of course, but this is the letters section. Kind of a adorable throwback to how things used to be done. We have an article here by Scott Carlson about Con Sellers Sleaze books published by Powell Tiger Books. There's the woman from the cover. We love Con Sellers around here. He's very, very, very trashy. We'll just go ahead and say it. He's trashy writer. I did a review of one of his books, and I looked into him, and he was a community college English teacher, which I thought was just perfect job for that guy. Here we have Tom Tezerik's article about Wally Wood doing paperback cover art. Also, I thought it would be fun that when I have the books to pull them out, show them while we're here. Twice in Time, Manly Wade Wellman. You know what? Let's zoom in the camera. A little too far. It's better. Yeah. So I didn't know that this was a Wally Wood, which makes it even better. Wally Wood's, of course, famous for doing EC Comics back in the pre-code era comic days. Another Tom Tezerik penned article about a book called Black Abduction. It's kind of a conspiracy that it was published before the Patty Hearst incident. So there's similarities, and he just kind of talks about that. It was really interesting. I loved this article here by Jeff Popple about Australian Horwitz publisher, which is, and it's their version of James Bond, called Mark Hood. So I definitely love to hunt these down. I absolutely love spy stuff. Unrelated to Paperback Fanatic, speaking of YouTube, there is a YouTube channel called David Books and Comics, which I really like. And he pulled out his Mark Hood books, and he kind of goes through them. So if you're looking for even more, just click on over there. I'll tag his account in the description. Here's Justin Marriott's first piece in this issue, Gothic Romances. This is about Phyllis Whitney. This one I do not have, but I do have a different cover, the Red Carnelian. So, a little different. Got Justin Marriott's take on historical naval fiction. We got Fox and Kelso. I don't know, these don't seem that appealing to me, but the way he talks about them, it makes it exciting, which is kind of cool, because that's one of the good things about this magazine is expands your horizons and makes you want to try out different genres that you might not have, just to see what it's like. Up next, Roy Nugent talks about Fred Olen Ray, the B-movie director, and about his novels, his writing. He loved weird tales, so he did his own Weird Menace, I believe in the 90s. I don't remember, but you can read the article and then you'll know. John Peel writing about James Bond novelizations. We have two here. Got the Moonraker, and then Colonel's Son. Yeah. So yeah, this is an article not about Ian Fleming, but about the novelizations of the movies. Just a little different. Tom Tezrick is back with Pulp Horror, and he goes through this issue of Ace Mystery Magazine and gives little reviews of every single story. Steve Carroll here writing about procedural vampire stories and the connection between Leslie H. Whitten and Kolchak the Night Stalker. We love Kolchak. I definitely would love to get those Kolchak books, and I agree that the covers are pretty unappealing. That's why he made them so small, just to kind of prove his point. I didn't realize this, but Moon of the Wolf was a novelization. It is a made-for-TV movie that I had watched many times, and when I seen this in here, I was blown away. And just that cover too, man. This is definitely going on the want list. I'll hunt that down. Steve Mayall, Westerns. This is about the Wilderness series. We got a couple of these. None of the ones pictured though. And I have yet to read them. I believe I picked them up at the Half Price Books warehouse sale for like a quarter or 50 cents or something. They had a bunch of them, but I just grabbed a few. Up next is Steve Carroll in the Manly Man's Manly Book Cave. He writes about 2 releases from the menspulpmags.com, which is Bob Dice, along with Wyatt Doyle and Bill Cunningham. So we got one issue of the Men's Adventure Quarterly, and then the Lawrence Block, Naked and the Deadly, which I have here. Bob Dice sent me a big old box of the releases, and I'm steadily working my way through them. Right now I'm reading the Hitman issue of Men's Adventure Quarterly, which has this, it's based off of this artwork. It's really enjoyable. If you haven't heard of this, I know I've talked about it on the channel before, but it's menspulpmags.com. Everything they put out is wonderful. You should definitely go check it out. I love this James Doig's take on sharks, the Australian shark books. This was amazing. I would kill to have some of these books. Wish I knew someone in Australia, you know, any listeners in Australia who might be into collecting some books there and doing a trade with me. That would be amazing. I've seen this shark book pictured many times, but I always thought it was nonfiction, but it's a fiction book. So now I really, really want it. I mean, that cover alone, I bet these books go for quite the sum in Australia also. I can't even imagine ordering it from here. So yeah, shark books and Mark Hood books. I have to get on that. Panther Crime Band, Jules Burt. This is about a series that Panther put out, these bands on them. The one I know here is Robert Van Gulik, who did the Judge D character. I thought this was an interesting article by Jim O'Brien, kind of original of his experiences with Alistair MacLean when 8 Bells Toll, which is kind of this funny story going back to his childhood. And I love stuff like this where it's not just talking about the books, but how it relates to us in a real world sense. I just thought that was really cool, really original. And we got a bonus Alistair MacLean here about the artist for Fontana, whose name was, what was his name? Jorge Longaroon, Jordi. He was from Barcelona. First time when I first flipped through this and I turned the page and seen the I Want to Be a Dodd, you know, it made me chuckle because it's the Stone Roses song. It's a pun on the Stone Roses song, I Want to Be Adored. So that was pretty amusing. These are just some random DAW covers. Justin Marriott's favorite DAW covers or books that he found to look interesting. I have some DAWs, but I don't have any of these. Oh, I have that Transit to Scorpio. So that is the first in the series of the Dre Prescott series. I've yet to read it. I like that one more though. So as you can see in this magazine, it has these great scans. It talks about these books, and you're going to want to stop everything you're doing and go find them all and find more like it. Here's another original article that I really enjoyed. This is by Justin Marriott. This is about authors who are known for a certain genre who had releases in other genres under their real name. I didn't have any of these, but I did have one, which is John D. MacDonald, Wine of the Dreamers. John D. MacDonald's known for the Travis McGee series, the crime series. This is a sci-fi. I was really surprised when I seen this existed. So it's along the lines of this article. I think, yeah. We got the black as the color, John Bruner. I forgot I owned this until I was flipping through. And I was like, oh man, I forgot that when I picked this up, I was super excited about it and then just went into a stack and I forgot. So not only does this book show you books that you didn't know existed and you got to go find, it shows you books that you already owned and totally forgot about. So we'll put that up in the reading list. Hopefully we'll be reviewing it soon. Got an article about John Ferris. I have quite a few of his. When I lived in Arizona, there was a place called Bookman's, and they had tons of horror books and they had tons of John Ferris books for some reason, and I would just pick them all up. So I got that one there. In this article, Justin says how wonderful this is. So I have yet to read the John Ferris, but when I go to read one, it's going to be that one, because he put it in my brain. It's really good. We got the Captors. That's a great cover. got the catacombs here. Look at the size of this thing. It's like 10 of the books I normally read, size-wise. I mean, what are the odds that you know what, I'm never going to read this. Is it wrong for me to keep it? Yeah, probably. I don't know. But we got it. And then last up is the children's horror, UK children's horror books. I know people have a lot of nostalgia for their childhood horror books, but I didn't read horror books when I was a kid. I read fantasy, Dragonlance and stuff, so it's not that appealing to me, but it is pretty cool, just the covers. It's interesting to look at that. So yeah, another great issue, another smashing success. I'd also just like to say that, you know, this is a labor of love. It's amazing that we have someone in the community, in the vintage collecting community, that goes to all this effort to put this out. Because I guarantee he's not making any money. And if it is any kind of profit, it's nothing compared to the hours that he puts in on this. And I just really appreciate it. Really appreciate that it exists. And I look forward to every issue. And I guess that's all for today.